A waitress saw men threatening a little girl in her restaurant. Without thinking, she hid the child and locked the door. What she didn't know, the girl's father was the city's most feared mafia boss. And when he found them together, his daughter spoke for the first time in 3 years, begging him not to hurt the woman who saved her. The smell of garlic butter and fresh basil filled the air at Marino's, a bustling seafood restaurant perched on the edge of Santa Monica Pier. Anna Mitchell wiped down table 7 for the 3rd time that evening, her feet aching in worn sneakers that desperately needed replacing. Friday nights were always chaos. Tourists mixing with locals, the sound of waves crashing below barely audible over the clatter of plates, and bursts of laughter. Anna, table 12 needs water. Marco, the head waiter, barked from across the dining room. She grabbed a pitcher and wound through the crowded space, her mind already calculating tonight's tips. $300. That's what she needed to cover her mother's prescription refill and the overdue electric bill. Her phone buzzed in her apron pocket, probably another text from the hospital about Mom's upcoming treatment. She'd check it later. As Anna filled glasses at table 12, her eyes drifted to the corner booth near the kitchen entrance. A little girl sat alone, maybe 7 or 8 years old, with dark curly hair and a white dress that looked far too expensive for a casual dinner. The child's hands were folded tightly in her lap, her gaze fixed on the tablecloth. Something about her stillness felt wrong, like a bird with clipped wings. Anna frowned. Where were her parents? She finished with table 12 and approached the girl's booth. Hey, sweetie, are you waiting for someone? The child's eyes flicked up briefly, deep brown, almost black, before returning to the table. She didn't speak. Are you hungry? I can bring you some bread while you wait. Still nothing. But Anna noticed the girl's shoulders were trembling slightly. Before she could say more, the restaurant's front door swung open. 2 men entered, and Anna's instincts screamed danger. They weren't dressed like typical diners, dark jeans, leather jackets despite the warm evening, and faces that carried the hard edges of violence. Their eyes scanned the room with predatory precision before locking onto the corner booth. Onto the little girl. Anna's heart began to race. The men moved through the restaurant with purpose, weaving between tables. Other diners seemed to sense something off, conversations faltering as the men passed. Marco caught Anna's eye from across the room, his expression questioning. The taller man reached the booth first. He leaned down, his voice low but audible. Time to go, princess. Your father's waiting. The girl's entire body went rigid. Her small hands gripped the edge of the table so hard her knuckles turned white. Come on now, the second man growled, reaching for her arm. Don't make this difficult. That's when Anna saw it, the gun barely concealed beneath the first man's jacket. And the look in the little girl's eyes wasn't just fear. It was terror. Every rational thought in Anna's mind told her to walk away. Call the police. Let someone else handle it. She was just a waitress trying to survive, not a hero. But when she looked at that child, she saw herself at 8 years old, powerless, scared, alone when her father had walked out and never came back. Her body moved before her brain could stop it. Excuse me, Anna said loudly, stepping between the men and the booth. Is there a problem here? The tall man's eyes narrowed. Back off, lady. This doesn't concern you. She's at my table. That makes it my concern. Anna's voice was steadier than she felt. Her heart hammered against her ribs. Move, the second man hissed, his hand sliding toward his jacket. The restaurant had gone quiet now. Forks suspended midair. Conversations died. Even the kitchen's sounds seemed to fade. Anna didn't move. Instead, she looked directly at the little girl. Do you want to go with these men? The child's lips trembled. She shook her head, just barely, but unmistakably. That tiny gesture sealed everything. Then she's not going anywhere, Anna said firmly. The tall man's face darkened. You have no idea what you're doing. Maybe not. But I know a scared kid when I see 1 inch. Time seemed to slow. The second man's hand emerged from his jacket, not with a gun, but reaching for the girl. Anna reacted on pure instinct. She grabbed the child's hand and pulled her from the booth, shielding her with her own body.
Marco.
Call 911. Anna shouted. Chaos erupted. The first man lunged forward. Anna stumbled backward, the little girl clutching her waist. Other diners screamed. Someone knocked over a table. Marco was yelling into the phone. The kitchen door was only 10 feet away, if she could just reach it. Then the front windows exploded inward. Gunshots. 3 rapid cracks that turned the restaurant into a war zone. Customers dropped to the floor. Glass rained down like deadly confetti. Anna didn't think. She ran, dragging the child toward the kitchen, her body curved protectively over the small frame. They burst through the swinging door. Anna's mind raced. The back exit was blocked by storage. The office was too exposed. Then she saw it, the walk-in pantry. In here, quick. She pulled the girl inside the narrow space, surrounded by shelves of canned goods and dry pasta. She slammed the door and twisted the lock, her hands shaking so badly she nearly couldn't manage it. Outside, more gunshots. Shouting. The sound of heavy boots running. Sirens wailed in the distance, but they sounded impossibly far away. In the darkness of the pantry, Anna sank to the floor, pulling the trembling child into her arms. The girl buried her face in Anna's shoulder, silent tears soaking through her uniform. It's okay, Anna whispered, though nothing about this was okay. You're safe now. I've got you. The child's fingers dug into Anna's back like she was drowning, and Anna was the only thing keeping her above water. Through the door, Anna heard new voices, deeper, more authoritative. The sound of someone taking control. Then footsteps approaching the pantry. Heavy. Deliberate. Anna held her breath. The door handle rattled violently. Open this door, a man's voice commanded. It wasn't a request. It carried the weight of someone who'd never been refused anything in his life. Anna's arms tightened around the girl. Go away. I said open it.
Now.
Not until the police get here. A pause. Then, the police won't help you. Open this door, or I'll have my men tear it off the hinges. You have 10 seconds. The little girl stirred in Anna's arms. And then, for the first time, she spoke, her voice small but clear. Papa. Anna's blood turned to ice. The lock clicked open before Anna could process what was happening. The pantry door swung wide, and fluorescent light flooded the small space, momentarily blinding her. When her vision cleared, she found herself staring at a wall of expensive Italian suits and cold, calculating eyes. But it was the man in the center who made her breath catch. He stood well over 6 feet, with jet-black hair swept back from a face that could have been carved from marble, sharp jawline, high cheekbones, and eyes so dark they seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. His charcoal suit probably cost more than Anna made in 6 months. Everything about him screamed power, from his commanding posture to the way every other man in the room deferred to him without question. Dante Moretti. She didn't know his name yet, but she knew what he was. The kind of man who appeared on the news when bodies turned up in the harbor. Sophia, he said, his voice gentler now but still carrying an edge that could cut glass. The little girl untangled herself from Anna's arms and ran to him. Dante dropped to one knee, catching his daughter in an embrace that seemed almost desperate. His large hands cradled her head, checking her for injuries with the careful precision of someone who'd seen too much violence. Anna remained frozen on the pantry floor, her back pressed against metal shelving, watching this surreal scene unfold. The feared Mafia boss holding his daughter like she was made of spun glass. Are you hurt? Dante asked Sophia, speaking in Italian now. The girl shook her head against his chest. Then his eyes lifted to Anna, and the temperature in the room dropped 20 degrees. You, he said, switching back to English. Stand up. Anna's legs barely cooperated, but she managed to rise, her hands trembling. 4 armed men flanked Dante, their weapons now pointed directly at her. The restaurant beyond was in shambles. overturned tables, shattered glass, and what looked like blood near the entrance. Mr. Moretti, one of his men said, a stocky man with a scar running down his left cheek. We need to move. Police are 3 minutes out. Dante ignored him, his focus entirely on Anna. You took my daughter. I didn't take her. Those men were trying to kidnap her. I was protecting. Protecting? His voice was dangerously soft. From my own men? Anna's mind reeled. Your men? But she was terrified. Those weren't my men, Dante stood, lifting Sophia effortlessly into his arms. But you couldn't have known that. Which raises an interesting question. Why would a waitress risk her life for a stranger's child? Anna opened her mouth, but no words came. What could she possibly say that would make sense to a man like him? Papa, stop. Sophia's voice rang out, clearer than before. She squirmed in Dante's arms until he set her down, then positioned herself between Anna and the guns. She saved me. Dante's expression shifted, surprise flickering across features that seemed unused to showing emotion. Sophia, move.
No.
The little girl's chin lifted with stubborn defiance that clearly ran in the family. The bad men said they'd hurt me. She hid me. She kept me safe. One of Dante's men leaned in, whispering urgently in his ear. Anna caught fragments. Santoro's crew found 2 bodies outside, Rivera gang colors. Understanding dawned on Dante's face, followed by a flash of pure rage that made Anna's survival instinct scream. He turned to his men. Find them. Every last one. I want to know who planned this, who funded it, and who betrayed our location. Yes, sir. The men dispersed quickly, leaving only the scarred man behind. Dante's attention returned to Anna, but his gaze had changed. The immediate threat of violence had receded, replaced by something more calculating. What's your name? Anna Mitchell. Anna Mitchell, he repeated, as if testing how it felt. You work here?
Yes.
Look, I just wanted to help. Quiet, he pulled out his phone, tapping rapidly.
Marco Russo.
Manager of this establishment. Says you've worked here for 2 years. Single. Mother in hospice care at Cedars-Sinai. Nursing degree, unfinished. Debt, $47,000. Anna's stomach dropped. He'd pulled up her entire life in 30 seconds. How? I know everything about everyone in my city. Dante slipped the phone back into his pocket. The question is, why did no one know about you before? You're invisible. Unremarkable, he studied her like she was a puzzle that didn't fit. Yet tonight, you defied armed men and locked yourself in a pantry with my daughter. Any decent person would have done the same. No, Dante said flatly. They wouldn't have. Most people in this city know better than to get involved in my business. Sophia tugged on her father's sleeve. She's nice, Papa. She asked if I was hungry. She has kind eyes. Something flickered in Dante's expression, a crack in the armor. He looked at his daughter, then back at Anna, seeming to wage some internal war. Finally, he spoke, and his words changed everything. You'll come with us.
What? No.
I need to. That wasn't a request, Miss Mitchell. Dante's voice turned to steel. My daughter trusts you. In my world, that's rarer than gold and far more valuable. Until I understand why, you stay where I can see you. He nodded to the scarred man, who stepped forward and gripped Anna's arm firmly, but not painfully. Papa's not mean, Sophia whispered, reaching for Anna's other hand. Please don't be scared. But as they led her through the destroyed restaurant toward the waiting black SUVs, past the carnage and the approaching sirens, Anna realized something terrifying. She just entered a world where normal rules didn't apply. And there was no clear way out. The SUV's leather seats were more comfortable than Anna's bed, which somehow made everything worse. She sat rigid between 2 silent guards while Dante occupied the front passenger seat, his phone pressed to his ear as he issued clipped commands in Italian. Sophia sat on the other side, her small hand still clutching Anna's. Through the tinted windows, Santa Monica Boulevard blurred past. They were heading away from the hospital, away from her mother, away from everything familiar. I need to make a call, Anna said, trying to keep her voice steady. My mom, she's expecting me. Dante didn't turn around. Your mother is sedated for the night. The hospital confirms she won't wake until morning. The invasion of privacy should have angered her, but fear overrode everything else. You can't just kidnap me. I can do anything I want, Miss Mitchell. His tone was matter-of-fact, not boastful. But kidnapping implies criminal intent. I'm ensuring my daughter's safety. There's a difference. By taking me against my will? By keeping close the one person my daughter has trusted in 3 years. He finally glanced back, his dark eyes meeting hers in the rear-view mirror. Do you know how many nannies, therapists, and bodyguards have tried to reach her? 17. Sophia wouldn't speak to any of them. Yet tonight, she spoke to you. Twice. Anna looked down at Sophia, who was staring out the window with that same distant expression from the restaurant. Maybe because I wasn't trying to reach her. I was just trying to help. Perhaps Dante returned to his phone. We'll know soon enough. The SUV turned onto a private road that wound up into the Hollywood Hills. Massive gates swung open automatically, revealing a driveway lined with security cameras and armed guards. The mansion beyond looked like something from a movie, modern architecture, floor-to-ceiling windows, and a view of Los Angeles that probably cost more than most people earned in a lifetime. They pulled into an underground garage filled with luxury vehicles. Dante stepped out first, buttoning his suit jacket. Bring her to my office. Sophia goes with Maria.
No.
Sophia's grip on Anna's hand tightened painfully. She stays with me. Dante's jaw clenched. Sophia. Please, Papa. Please. The scarred guard, Anna heard someone call him Luca, leaned toward Dante. Boss, Castellano's on line 1. Says it's urgent about the restaurant. Dante closed his eyes briefly, and for just a moment, Anna saw the exhaustion beneath the intimidating exterior.
Fine.
Maria, prepare the guest room next to Sophia's. Miss Mitchell stays on the family floor until further notice. An older woman with steel-gray hair appeared, eyeing Anna with obvious suspicion. Sir, are you certain? Do I need to repeat myself? No, sir. Maria's expression could have curdled milk. As they entered the mansion, Anna's mind raced through escape scenarios. Call the police? Tell them what? That a mafia boss was holding her in a luxury prison? Find a phone, contact someone, anyone. Don't, Dante said without looking at her. They'd entered a massive foyer with marble floors and a staircase that curved like a work of art. Whatever you're planning, don't. Every door requires biometric access. Every window is alarmed. And even if you somehow escaped, my men would find you before you reached the end of the driveway. So, I'm a prisoner. You're a guest whose departure time hasn't been determined. He started up the stairs, and the guards nudged Anna to follow. There's a difference. Not from where I'm standing. Dante stopped mid-step and turned. For the first time, she saw something beyond cold calculation, a flash of genuine frustration. You think I want this complication? Tonight was supposed to be simple. Dinner with my daughter. Instead, the Riveras attempted an abduction. 2 of their men are dead in my territory, and now I have a witness who also happens to be the only person my traumatized daughter will communicate with. He descended 2 steps, bringing them eye to eye. So no, Miss Mitchell, this isn't ideal for either of us. Sophia tugged Anna's hand. Come see my room. I have paint supplies. The sudden shift from tension to childish enthusiasm was jarring. Dante watched his daughter, and his expression softened so marginally that Anna almost missed it. 1 hour, he said to Sophia. Then sleep. No arguments.
Okay, Papa.
He nodded to Maria. Show Miss Mitchell the guest accommodations. Get her anything she needs, clothes, toiletries, whatever. And Luca, post guards on the family floor. No one enters without my authorization. As Dante strode toward a hallway lined with dark wood and expensive art, Luca touched Anna's shoulder. This way. The guest room was larger than Anna's entire apartment. King-sized bed, private bathroom with a soaking tub, and a balcony overlooking an infinity pool that seemed to merge with the city lights below. Under any other circumstances, it would have been paradise. You have 30 minutes to settle in, Maria said coldly. Then Sophia will expect you. Don't disappoint her. Mr. Moretti doesn't tolerate disappointment. After they left, Anna sank onto the bed, her hands finally free to shake. The enormity of the situation crashed over her. She was trapped in a Mafia compound, responsible for a traumatized child, with no clear path to freedom. Her phone buzzed, still in her apron pocket. A text from Marco. Police here. What do I tell them? Anna stared at the message. One text could bring the authorities, but it could also endanger Sophia, who'd already been through hell tonight. Her thumb hovered over the keyboard. Then she heard it, small footsteps in the hallway and Sophia's voice. Anna, can we paint now? Anna closed her eyes, deleted the message draft, and stood up. Some prisons, she realized, came with responsibilities you couldn't walk away from. Sophia's room looked like a princess lived there, if that princess was guarded by an army. Pink walls covered with hand-painted clouds, shelves overflowing with untouched toys, and a canopy bed draped in white silk. But the security camera in the corner and the panic button by the door told a different story. I like watercolors best, Sophia said, pulling Anna toward a small table covered with art supplies. For a child who barely spoke, she seemed almost animated now. Do you paint? Sometimes. My mom and I used to paint together. Anna sat down, watching Sophia arrange brushes with careful precision. Everything in its exact place, each movement deliberate. She taught me that there's no wrong way to create something beautiful. Sophia paused, considering this. Papa says there's a wrong way to do everything. That's why I have to be careful. The sadness in those words hit Anna hard. What do you like to paint? Water. Oceans. Lakes. Places that go on forever. Sophia dipped her brush in blue paint, creating flowing strokes on fresh paper. Mama used to take me to the beach every Sunday. We'd collect shells and watch the waves. She said water remembers everything. All the places it's been. All the people who've touched it. Your mama sounds wise. She's dead. Sophia's voice was flat, matter-of-fact in the way children speak about devastating things they haven't fully processed. 2 years, 4 months, and 13 days ago.
Car accident.
Papa says it was quick, that she didn't suffer. But I think he's lying to make me feel better. Anna's throat tightened. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Everyone says sorry. But sorry doesn't bring her back. Sophia added white to her blue, creating foam. After Mama died, people stopped making sense. Papa stopped smiling. The house got more guards. And I couldn't. I didn't want to talk anymore. Words felt too hard. But you're talking now. Sophia looked up, her dark eyes, so much like her father's, meeting Anna's. You don't feel dangerous. Everyone else feels dangerous. Even the nice people. They want something from Papa, or they're scared of him, or they're pretending to care about me because it's their job. She returned to her painting. You just wanted to help. That's different. Anna didn't know what to say to that, so she picked up her own brush and began painting alongside Sophia. They worked in comfortable silence, the only sounds the whisper of bristles on paper and distant voices from elsewhere in the mansion. 20 minutes later, Maria appeared in the doorway. Bedtime, Sophia. 5 more minutes. Now Maria's tone allowed no negotiation. She glanced at Anna with barely concealed disapproval. Mr. Moretti wants to see you in his office. Luca will escort you. Sophia grabbed Anna's hand. Will you come back tomorrow? The hope in her voice was crushing. I don't know, sweetie. Please. Anna looked at Maria, who offered no help, then at Luca waiting in the hallway. We'll see, okay? That's what adults say when they mean no. That's what adults say when they honestly don't know. Anna squeezed Sophia's hand gently. But I promise I won't disappear without saying goodbye. Deal. Sophia considered this, then nodded.
Deal.
Luca led Anna through corridors that seemed designed to disorient. Left, right, downstairs, through a gallery lined with paintings worth more than her lifetime earnings. The mansion wasn't just a home, it was a fortress. She counted 6 guards on their route, each armed, each watching her with expressionless faces. Dante's office occupied the East Wing's corner, windows overlooking the city, like a king surveying his domain. He sat behind a massive desk, studying multiple screens displaying security feeds. He didn't look up when Anna entered.
Seat.
She remained standing. I want to go home. Not yet. Dante tapped a screen, pulling up footage of Sophia's room. Anna watched herself and Sophia painting, their conversation playing in clear audio. Her stomach churned. He'd been listening the entire time. You record your daughter's private moments? I record everything in this house. It's kept her alive. He finally looked at her, and exhaustion lined his features more clearly now. The intimidating Mafia boss looked almost human. Do you know what selective autism is, Miss Mitchell? I know it's a trauma response. Children who can speak, but choose not to in certain situations. Sophia spoke freely until the night her mother died. Then silence. 3 years of specialists, therapists, medications. Nothing worked. She talked to me occasionally, in whispers, when we were completely alone. But outside these walls? Nothing. At school, restaurants, anywhere public, complete shutdown. He closed the screens. Tonight, she spoke in front of my men. She defended you to my face. In 3 hours, you've accomplished what 17 professionals couldn't. Maybe because I'm not trying to fix her. I'm just treating her like a person. Dante's laugh was bitter. You think my money bought incompetence? I hired the best child psychologists in California. The best can't help if trust isn't there. Anna moved closer to the desk. Sophia told me she feels dangerous around everyone. Can you blame her? Her mother died violently, and now she lives in an armed compound where every adult is either a guard or afraid of her father. That compound keeps her safe. It also keeps her isolated. Anna surprised herself with her boldness, but something about this broken man and his traumatized daughter awakened a courage she didn't know she possessed. She needs normal. She needs to feel like a kid, not a prisoner. Dante stood abruptly, his chair scraping against marble. For a moment, Anna thought she'd pushed too far. He rounded the desk, stopping inches from her, his presence overwhelming. You know nothing about my world, he said quietly. The people who want to hurt me through her. The threats I receive daily. The reason my wife died. His voice caught just barely. The reason I became this. Then tell me. The request hung between them. Outside, Los Angeles glittered like scattered diamonds, beautiful and dangerous. Finally, Dante spoke. You'll stay. 1 week. Help Sophia adjust to a new therapist arriving Monday. After that, you're free to leave with enough money to cover your mother's treatments and forget this ever happened. And if I refuse? His smile was cold. You won't, because you already care about her too much to walk away. He was right, and they both knew it. The next morning, Anna woke to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows and the smell of fresh coffee. For a disorienting moment, she forgot where she was. Then reality crashed back. The restaurant, the gunfire, Sophia, Dante Moretti. A knock on the door. Maria entered without waiting for a response, carrying a tray. Breakfast. Mr. Moretti expects you downstairs in 30 minutes. Clothes are in the closet, your size. Anna found designer jeans, comfortable tops, even undergarments, all perfectly fitted. The invasion of privacy should have bothered her more, but exhaustion dulled her outrage. She dressed quickly, her reflection in the mirror showing a woman who looked far calmer than she felt. Downstairs, the mansion hummed with activity. Guards rotated shifts, housekeepers moved silently through rooms, and somewhere distant, she heard Sophia's laughter, a sound so unexpected it made Anna pause mid-step. She followed the sound to a massive kitchen where Sophia sat at an island counter, still in her pajamas, watching Maria knead dough. Dante stood nearby, phone pressed to his ear, speaking rapid Italian. He'd traded last night's suit for dark slacks and a white button-down, sleeves rolled to his elbows. Less intimidating, but no less commanding. Anna. Sophia's face lit up. Maria's making cinnamon rolls. Do you like cinnamon? Love it. Anna slid onto a stool beside her, hyper-aware of Dante's presence. He ended his call and pocketed the phone. Miss Mitchell, I trust you slept as well as anyone being held against their will. You have a talent for dramatization. He poured himself espresso from a machine that probably cost more than a car. Sophia, finish your orange juice. But I'm not thirsty. That wasn't a suggestion. Sophia's expression shuddered immediately, the brightness dimming. She reached for the glass with mechanical obedience, and Anna saw it, the careful way she moved around her father, measuring every action. Not afraid, exactly, but constantly calculating. Sophia, Anna said gently, do you want to help Maria with the dough? Learning to bake is pretty cool. Sophia glanced at her father, seeking permission without words. Dante nodded. Wash your hands first. As Sophia scrambled down and ran to the sink, Dante studied Anna over his espresso. You're observant. You're too controlling. His eyebrow raised. Excuse me? She's walking on eggshells around you. Every word, every movement. She's looking for approval or bracing for correction. Anna kept her voice low. You can't command a traumatized child like you command your men. I'm keeping her safe. You're keeping her contained. There's a difference. Maria coughed pointedly, clearly uncomfortable with Anna's boldness. Even the guard station by the door shifted uneasily. No one spoke to Dante Moretti this way. Dante's jaw tightened, but before he could respond, Sophia returned, hands dripping wet. I'm ready. The tension broke. Maria showed Sophia how to fold the dough, and the little girl's concentration was absolute. Anna watched Dante watching his daughter, and saw something flicker in his expression, longing mixed with helplessness. She used to cook with her mother, he said quietly, more to himself than Anna. Every Sunday. They'd make a mess of the kitchen, and Isabella would laugh. He stopped abruptly, as if he'd revealed too much. Tell me about her. Your wife. Dante's expression hardened. That's not your concern. If I'm helping Sophia, it is. She mentioned her mother yesterday. That she misses the beach, their Sundays together. My daughter talks to you too much. Or maybe not enough to everyone else. Anna turned to face him fully. You wanted me here because Sophia trusts me. But trust goes both ways. If you want me to help her, I need to understand what she's lost. For a long moment, Dante said nothing. Then, surprisingly, he gestured toward the door. Walk with me. They left Sophia happily kneading dough with Maria and stepped onto a terrace overlooking manicured gardens. Guards were visible but distant, giving the illusion of privacy. Isabella was a teacher. Dante began, his voice rough. 3rd grade. We met at a charity event. She was volunteering. I was donating to look legitimate, a ghost of a smile. She saw right through me.
Called me out on it.
Said if I really wanted to help, I should volunteer myself, not just throw money around. Did you? I showed up the next week at her school. Read to kids for 2 hours. Worst 2 hours of my life. They had no respect for authority, no fear. His expression softened. But Isabella looked at me like I'd done something remarkable. Like I could be more than what I was. Anna watched his profile, seeing the man beneath the monster. She changed you.
She tried.
Made me promise to eventually leave the business, go legitimate. I was working on it, slowly, carefully. Then he gripped the terrace railing, knuckles white. The Castellano family wanted to send a message. Sabotaged her brakes. The crash was supposed to look like an accident, and it did, to everyone except me. Did you retaliate? I burned their empire to the ground. His voice was flat, emotionless. Every business, every connection, every family member involved. It took 6 months. I made sure they knew why they were dying. Anna should have been horrified. Instead, she felt a strange understanding. And Sophia saw you transform into something darker. She saw me become exactly what Isabella feared I'd always been. Dante finally looked at Anna. I can't be soft with Sophia. Softness gets you killed in my world. I need her strong, alert, obedient. She's 7 years old. She's a Moretti. That makes her a target from birth. They stood in silence. The morning sun warmed despite the cold conversation. Inside, Sophia's laughter drifted out. Maria must have let her taste the dough.
Listen to that, Anna said.
When's the last time you heard her laugh like that? Dante's expression cracked, just slightly. I don't remember. That's the problem. You're so focused on keeping her alive, you've forgotten to let her live. And if living gets her killed, and if surviving without joy kills her anyway? The question hung between them, unanswerable. The week developed a strange rhythm. Mornings with Sophia, painting, reading, teaching her to make simple breakfast items under Maria's watchful eye. Afternoons when Dante's business demanded his attention, leaving Anna to navigate the mansion's peculiar ecosystem of guards, staff, and surveillance. Evenings were family dinners, a term Anna used loosely, given the armed men stationed throughout the dining room. But tonight felt different. Sophia had been animated all day, chattering about a story Anna had read her about a girl who befriended dragons. At dinner, she insisted on sitting between Anna and Dante, narrating her own dragon adventure with the kind of wild imagination that 7-year-olds possessed. And then the dragon said, "I'll only eat ice cream, never princesses." Sophia giggled, pushing her broccoli around her plate. "Eat your vegetables," Dante said automatically, not looking up from his phone. "But Papa, dragons don't eat broccoli." Sophia. The little girl's enthusiasm deflated instantly. She picked up her fork with mechanical compliance, and Anna felt the familiar frustration rising. 5 days in this house, and she'd watched Dante shut down his daughter's spark repeatedly, always in the name of discipline, structure, control. "I think dragons would definitely eat broccoli," Anna interjected. "How else would they get strong enough to fly? They'd need their vitamins." Sophia considered this seriously. "Maybe they make broccoli ice cream?" "That sounds terrible," Anna laughed. And then Sophia laughed too, a genuine, bubbling sound that filled the cavernous dining room. Everyone froze. Dante's phone slipped slightly in his hand. Luca, standing by the door, looked startled. Even Maria paused in the act of refilling water glasses. The silence stretched, broken only by Sophia's fading giggles. Dante stared at his daughter, like he'd never seen her before. His expression cycled through shock, disbelief, and something that looked painfully close to grief. "What?" Sophia asked, suddenly self-conscious. "Why is everyone weird?" "You laughed, Principessa," Dante said softly, using the Italian endearment Anna had never heard him speak before. "You haven't laughed at dinner since." He didn't finish, but he didn't need to. Since her mother died. The unspoken words hung heavy. Sophia looked at Anna uncertainly. "Is that bad?"
"No, sweetheart."
"It's perfect." Anna squeezed her hand under the table. Dante set down his phone, an unprecedented act during dinner. He cleared his throat, seemingly struggling with words. "Tell me more. About the dragon." Sophia's eyes widened. "Really? Really?" And for the next 20 minutes, Dante Moretti, a man who commanded criminal empires and inspired fear throughout Los Angeles, listened intently to his daughter's rambling story about dragons who ate ice cream and broccoli. He asked questions. He smiled. Once he even laughed, a rusty sound, like something long and used, trying to remember its purpose. Anna watched this transformation, her chest tight with an emotion she couldn't quite name. After dinner, Sophia went willingly to bed, still chattering about dragons. Maria led her upstairs, leaving Anna and Dante alone in the dining room. Guards had retreated to their usual posts, granting them privacy. Dante stood at the window, staring out at the city lights. "Thank you," he said finally. "For what?" "For giving me back a piece of my daughter I thought was lost forever." Anna joined him at the window. She was never lost, just hiding. From me, it wasn't a question. I see how she tenses when I enter a room, how she measures every word before speaking to me. I've become what I swore I'd never be, my father. The vulnerability in his voice surprised her. "Tell me about him." Dante was quiet for so long Anna thought he wouldn't answer.
Then, Vito Moretti.
Old school mafia, brutal, paranoid, ruled through fear. I was 7 when he first brought me to a business meeting, made me watch as he broke a man's fingers one by one for stealing from him. Said I needed to learn early that mercy was weakness. That's horrible. That was Tuesday. Dante's reflection in the window looked haunted. By the time I was 12, I'd witnessed 3 murders. By 15, I'd committed my first. He was training me, molding me into his successor.
And I hated him for it.
But you became like him anyway.
No.
I became worse. He turned to face her. My father had limits, twisted as they were. He never targeted families, never touched children. But after Isabella died, I burned everything. Women, children, anyone connected to the Castellanos paid the price. I became the monster he'd created, stripped of the conscience Isabella had tried to cultivate. Anna should have recoiled. Should have seen the killer standing before her and felt fear. Instead, she saw a man drowning in guilt, desperately trying to protect the last good thing in his life while simultaneously pushing it away. You're not him, she said firmly. Your father wouldn't feel remorse, wouldn't question his methods, wouldn't stand here admitting his mistakes to someone who could use them against him. Can't you see? I'm doing to Sophia exactly what he did to me. Hardening her, teaching her to trust no one, preparing her for a life of violence. Stop. Anna stepped closer. Yes, you're overprotective. Yes, you're too controlling. But you're also trying to keep her safe in a world that killed her mother. That's not the same as your father's cruelty. Dante studied her face, searching for something. Why aren't you afraid of me? Oh, I'm terrified, Anna admitted. But I'm more afraid of what happens to Sophia if someone doesn't help you learn to be her father again, not just her warden. The distance between them felt charged, dangerous in a way that had nothing to do with violence. Dante raised his hand slowly and Anna's breath caught, but he only touched her cheek briefly, almost reverently, before dropping his hand. You speak to me like Isabella did, he said quietly. Like I'm capable of redemption. Maybe you are. Or maybe I'm fooling us both. Before Anna could respond, Luca appeared in the doorway.
Boss.
We have a problem. The new therapist, Dr. Chun, she's been in an accident. She's alive, but won't be able to come Monday. Or possibly ever. Dante's expression shuddered immediately, the vulnerable man vanishing behind the cold mask. Details. Brake failure. Sound familiar? The implication hit like a physical blow. Anna watched Dante's hands curl into fists. They're coming for Sophia again, he said, voice deadly calm. And now they know her weakness. His eyes cut to Anna, and she understood with chilling clarity. She wasn't just helping Sophia anymore. She'd become a target herself. The therapy center sat in a quiet Pasadena neighborhood, deliberately chosen for its anonymity. Dr. Rachel Kim, Sophia's new therapist after Dr. Chen's accident, specialized in childhood trauma and had agreed to see patients off-site when necessary. Today was Sophia's first session. I don't like this, Luca muttered from the driver's seat. The SUV idled outside a modest brick building, 2 additional security vehicles flanking them. Too exposed. Too predictable. Sophia needs this, Anna said from the back seat. She held Sophia's hand, feeling the girl's anxiety through her trembling fingers. She can't live her entire life in a fortress. Better a fortress than a coffin, Luca shot back. Dante, seated in the front passenger seat, had been silent the entire drive. He'd barely slept in the 3 days since Dr. Chen's brake lines were cut. His men had swept this building twice, installed additional cameras, and positioned snipers on surrounding rooftops. Still, Anna could feel his tension radiating like heat. We go in, stay exactly 1 hour, and leave, Dante said finally. Anna accompanies Sophia into the session. Luca and Marco stay in the waiting room. I'll be monitoring from the vehicle. You're not coming in? Sophia's voice was small. Dante turned, his expression softening marginally. I'll be right outside, Principessa. But Dr. Kim says you'll talk more freely, if I'm not in the room. Sophia nodded, but her grip on Anna's hand tightened. They entered the building, a converted house with soothing blue walls and children's artwork hung at eye level. Dr. Kim was a petite woman in her 40s with kind eyes and an immediately calming presence. She greeted Sophia at her level, not forcing eye contact, respecting her space. You must be Sophia.
I'm Dr. Rachel.
I heard you like painting. Sophia nodded, still partially hidden behind Anna. I have a whole art table set up. Want to see? The session room was perfect, soft lighting, comfortable cushions, and art supplies arranged invitingly. Anna settled into a chair by the window while Dr. Kim and Sophia began with watercolors, building trust through shared creativity rather than forced conversation. Anna found herself relaxing slightly. Maybe this could work. Maybe Sophia could have some semblance of normalcy. Her phone buzzed. A text from Dante. Stay alert. Something feels wrong. Anna's pulse quickened. She scanned the room. One door, one window overlooking a small garden. Nothing seemed amiss, but Dante's instincts had kept him alive in a world designed to kill him. She texted back. What's wrong? Not sure yet. Keep Sophia close. Dr. Kim was asking Sophia about her favorite colors, her voice gentle and unhurried. Sophia had relaxed enough to actually engage, pointing to different paint tubes and explaining why she preferred cerulean to navy blue. Then Anna heard it, a sound that didn't belong. A car door slamming, too close, too sharp. She stood, moving towards Sophia just as the window exploded inward. Glass shattered everywhere. Anna threw herself over Sophia, taking them both to the ground as gunfire erupted.
Dr. Kim screamed.
The door burst open, Luca and Marco rushing in, weapons drawn, returning fire. Back door.
Now, Luca shouted.
Anna lifted Sophia, shielding her with her body, and ran. The little girl buried her face in Anna's neck, silent, shock rendering her mute again. They burst into a hallway as bullets punched through walls behind them. Marco led them toward the rear exit, Luca covering their retreat. Outside, Anna could hear more gunfire. Dante's men engaging the attackers. How many? Where was Dante? They crashed through the back door into the garden. A high fence blocked their path. Marco was already climbing, reaching down. Hand her up. Anna lifted Sophia, who clung to Marco as he pulled her over. Then hands grabbed Anna from behind. Rough, violent. She kicked backward, connecting with something solid. A grunt of pain. She twisted, seeing a man in dark clothes, his face covered, raising a pistol. The shot came from her left. The man dropped, a red bloom spreading across his chest. Dante emerged from the side of the building, his weapon steady, his face a mask of cold fury. Move, he barked. Anna scrambled over the fence, Dante right behind her. They emerged into an alley, where one of the SUVs screeched to a halt. Doors flew open. Dante grabbed Sophia from Marco's arms, checking her frantically for injuries.
I'm okay, Papa, Sophia whispered.
Anna protected me. Dante's eyes met Anna's over his daughter's head, gratitude and something deeper flickering in their depths. Then he was all business again. Get them in the vehicle. Luca, status. 3 attackers down, 2 escaped. Rivera colors again, boss. I want them found. Tonight, Dante climbed into the SUV, still holding Sophia. Anna followed, her hands shaking now that the adrenaline was fading. Blood dripped from her arm, glass cuts from the window. You're hurt, Dante said sharply. It's nothing. It's not nothing. He grabbed a first aid kit, his movements surprisingly gentle as he examined her arm. This requires stitches. Later. Sophia needs you alive, Dante interrupted, his voice rough. He began cleaning the wound, and Anna hissed at the sting. His jaw clenched. This is my fault. I should have never let you leave the house. I knew they were planning something. You can't keep her locked up forever. Watch me, his eyes burned with fierce protectiveness. Not just for Sophia, Anna realized.
For her too. They know about you now.
They saw you protect her at the restaurant, and again today. You're not just a witness anymore. You're a target. The SUV raced through Pasadena, running red lights, taking random turns. Sophia had gone completely silent, curled against her father's chest. The light that had been slowly returning to her eyes over the past week had vanished, replaced by the haunted look Anna recognized from that first night. All their progress, undone in minutes. "I'll kill every last one of them," Dante said quietly, more promise than threat. The Riveras wanted a war. They'll get extinction. Anna looked at the man holding his traumatized daughter, his blood-stained hands gentle despite the violence in his voice, and realized something that should have terrified her, but somehow didn't. She was starting to understand him. And worse, she was starting to care. The mansion's war room was exactly what Anna expected, large monitors displaying city maps, surveillance feeds, and photographs of men marked with red X's. Dante stood at the head of a mahogany table surrounded by his lieutenants, his sleeves rolled up, his presence commanding absolute attention. Anna watched from the doorway, Sophia asleep in her arms. The girl had finally crashed after 2 hours of silent trembling, exhausted by terror. Maria had tried to take her, but Sophia's grip on Anna's shirt was unbreakable even in sleep. "The Riveras have 3 warehouses in the Port District," Marco was saying, pointing to locations on the map. "We hit all 3 simultaneously. Send a message they can't ignore." "No," the word came from Dante, sharp and final. "That's what they expect. They're baiting us into a public war." "So, we do nothing?" Luca's scarred face twisted with frustration. "They've tried to take Sophia twice. They killed Dr. Chen. I said no public war. I didn't say we do nothing." Dante's voice was ice. "We find the leak first. Someone told them about the therapy appointment. Someone with access to our schedule." The room went silent. Anna saw the men exchange glances, suspicion blooming among supposed brothers. "Boss, you can't think one of us," Marco started. "I think someone close enough to know our movements is feeding information to our enemies. Find them. Start with everyone who knew about today." Dante's gaze swept the room. "And understand this. When we find the traitor, I want them alive. I have questions before they die." The meeting continued, but Anna had heard enough. She carried Sophia upstairs, the little girl's weight somehow both burden and anchor. In Sophia's room, she carefully laid her on the bed, smoothing dark curls from her forehead. "Don't go," Sophia whispered, eyes still closed. "I'm right here, sweetheart. They want to hurt me, like they hurt Mama." Anna's chest tightened. "Your father won't let that happen. Papa can't stop everything. He couldn't stop them today." Sophia's eyes opened, glistening with tears. "Maybe I'm cursed. Maybe everyone who cares about me gets hurt." "Oh, Sophia." "No," Anna gathered her close. "You're not cursed. You're loved. And sometimes love means protecting people even when it's scary. Like you did today." "Exactly like that." "Were you scared?" "Terrified," Anna admitted. "But you know what? Being scared and being brave aren't opposites. Being brave means doing the right thing even when you're scared." Sophia was quiet for a moment. "Anna, will you leave when the week is over?" The question pierced something deep in Anna's chest. The week, Dante's original timeline, had ended 2 days ago. She should have left. Should have returned to her normal life, her mother, her job. Instead, she'd stayed without questioning it, as if this strange, dangerous world had somehow become inevitable. "I don't know," Anna said honestly. "I want you to stay forever, Sophia. I know Papa's scary sometimes, and the house has too many guns. But you make everything feel less scary. You make Papa less scary." Sophia yawned, fighting sleep. "He smiles now. Did you notice? When you're around, he almost looks like the Papa from before Mama died." Anna had noticed. Those moments when Dante's armor cracked, usually around Sophia, increasingly around her. The man beneath the monster was still there, buried but not dead. Footsteps in the hallway. Dante appeared in the doorway, his expression softening when he saw Sophia nearly asleep. He approached quietly, and Anna stood to give him space. "Stay," he said, so softly she almost missed it. He sat on the bed's edge, taking Sophia's small hand in his.
I'm sorry, Principessa.
"I promised to keep you safe, and I failed." "You didn't fail, Papa. Anna kept me safe. And you came." Sophia's eyes were closing. "You always come." Something broke in Dante's expression. He leaned down, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "Sleep now. I have men outside your door. Nothing will touch you tonight." Within minutes, Sophia's breathing evened into true sleep. Dante remained there, holding her hand, and Anna saw the truth he'd never speak aloud. He was terrified of losing this child the way he'd lost her mother. "Come," he finally said, standing. "We need to talk." They walked to his office in silence. Once inside, Dante poured 2 glasses of whiskey, handing one to Anna. She took it, needing the burn. "You should have run," he said, staring into his glass. "At the therapy center. When the shooting started. Your first instinct should have been self-preservation." "My first instinct was protecting Sophia." "That's what I don't understand." He looked at her finally, confusion and something else, something vulnerable in his eyes. "You barely knew her. You have your own life, your own mother to care for. Yet you keep putting yourself between her and bullets."
Why?
Anna considered lying, deflecting. Instead, she spoke the truth. "Because when I look at her, I see a little girl who lost everything and is trying desperately to make sense of a world that's suddenly full of violence and fear. I can't fix that. But I can show her that not every adult will abandon her when things get dangerous." "You're talking about yourself too," Dante said perceptively. "Your father." Anna stiffened. "How do you?" "I told you. I know everything about you. Father left when you were 8. Mother struggled with depression, eventually got sick. You sacrificed college, career, relationships, everything, to care for her." He stepped closer. "You understand abandonment. That's why you won't abandon Sophia." "And you understand violence," Anna countered. "That's why you can't stop using it to solve problems." "Violence is the only language my enemies understand." "Maybe. But it's not the only language Sophia needs to hear." Anna set down her glass. "She told me tonight that she thinks she's cursed. That everyone who cares about her gets hurt. Is that the lesson you want her to learn? That love equals danger?" Dante's jaw clenched. "In my world, it does." "Then change your world." "You think it's that simple?"
No.
"I think it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. Harder than building your empire, harder than avenging your wife." Anna moved closer, close enough to see the gold flecks in his dark eyes. "But the alternative is watching Sophia grow up believing she's poison to everyone around her." For a long moment, they stood there, the space between them charged with unspoken things: fear, attraction, understanding, impossibility. "I'm calling off the retaliation," Dante said finally. Anna's eyes widened. "What?" "You're right. More violence won't protect Sophia. It just perpetuates the cycle." He ran a hand through his hair, looking suddenly exhausted. "I'll find the traitor quietly. Eliminate the immediate threat. But the big response Marco wants, the statement killings, I'm canceling them. Your men will think you're weak. Let them." His smile was bitter. "My daughter thinks I'm scary. That's worse than any enemy's opinion." "Dante." "Stay," he said again, this time meeting her eyes directly. "Not for weak. Not as an obligation. Stay because Sophia needs you." "Because," he hesitated, vulnerability flickering across his features. "Because you make us remember what we used to be. Before the darkness." Anna should have said no. Should have run from this complicated, dangerous man and his broken world. Instead, she whispered, "Okay." And watched something like hope dawn in Dante Moretti's eyes. 3 days of relative peace. No attacks, no threats. Sophia began speaking more freely, even laughing at breakfast. Dante kept his promise. No retaliation raids, just quiet investigation. Anna almost let herself believe they'd found some fragile equilibrium. Then Friday morning shattered everything. Anna was helping Sophia with watercolors in the sunroom when raised voices echoed from Dante's office. She glanced at Sophia, whose small body had already tensed, brush frozen mid-stroke. "It's okay," Anna soothed. "Probably just business talk." But the shouting grew louder. Then a gunshot, single, sharp, unmistakable. Sophia's paintbrush clattered to the floor. Anna's heart hammered as she pulled the girl close, her mind racing through possibilities. Attack?
Accident?
She reached for her phone just as Luca burst into the sunroom, his weapon drawn. "Stay here. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me or the boss." His face was grim. "What's happening?" "We found the rat." He was gone before Anna could ask more. Anna locked the door, pulling Sophia away from the windows. They huddled in the corner while Sophia trembled silently. Minutes crawled past like hours. Anna heard running footsteps, urgent voices, another gunshot muffled by distance and walls. Finally a knock. "Anna, it's me." Dante's voice. She opened the door to find him standing there, a splash of blood on his white shirt, his expression dark as storm clouds. "Sophia, go with Maria."
Now.
The housekeeper appeared, reaching for Sophia, but the girl clung to Anna.
No.
"I want to stay with Anna." "Sophia." Dante's tone held warning, but then his shoulders sagged. He knelt to his daughter's level. "Principessa, I need to talk to Anna alone. Adult things. Go with Maria, have lunch, and Anna will come find you after. I promise." Sophia looked between them, then nodded reluctantly. As Maria led her away, Sophia glanced back with worried eyes. Once they were alone, Dante's mask cracked. It was Rico. Anna knew Rico, Dante's head of security, a man who'd been with the family for 15 years. The one who I trusted with everything. My schedule, Sophia's movements, our security protocols. Dante's hands clenched into fists. The Rivera's bought him 8 months ago. He's been feeding them information since before Isabella died. The implication hit Anna like a physical blow. The car accident was only possible because Rico told them Isabella's route that day. Her security detail was small because Rico said it was safe. Dante's voice cracked with barely controlled rage. "He killed my wife. He's been setting up my daughter for months. And I never suspected. I trusted him." How did you find out?" Marco noticed inconsistencies in Rico's reports. Small things, times that didn't match, details that conflicted. "We set a trap, fed him false information about Sophia's birthday party location. He passed it to his Rivera contact within hours." Dante sank into a chair, suddenly looking older. "I executed him myself. After he told me everything." Anna should have been horrified. Should have recoiled from this man who just killed someone in his own home. Instead, she felt a complicated knot of understanding, sympathy, and something darker, satisfaction that justice, however brutal, had been served. "What did he tell you?" "The Riveras have been planning a major move for months. They want to eliminate me, take Sophia hostage, use her as leverage to absorb my territory. Rico was supposed to deliver her at the birthday party. Sophia's turning 8 next week. They had it all arranged." Dante looked up, his eyes hollow. "But now they know we're onto them. They'll accelerate their plans." "What does that mean?" "It means the party is a trap for them now. We'll hold it as planned, but with every precaution. They'll expect security, but they won't expect what I'm planning." He stood, pacing like a caged predator. "This ends next week. One way or another." Anna's blood ran cold. "You're using Sophia's birthday as bait?" "I'm using it as an endgame. The Riveras think they still have the advantage. Let them come." His expression was pure calculated violence. "I'll be ready. And Sophia? You're going to put her through more trauma on her birthday? She'll be in a secure room the entire time, surrounded by my best men. She won't see anything." But doubt flickered in his eyes, the father warring with the strategist. Anna stepped closer, forcing him to meet her gaze. "Listen to yourself. You're becoming exactly what you feared, your father. Using family as chess pieces. I'm protecting my family by traumatizing your daughter further? By turning her birthday into a battlefield. Anna's voice rose. She's 8 years old, Dante. She deserves one day where she feels normal, safe, loved. Not like bait in a trap. There's no normal in our world. Then create one. Anna grabbed his arms, shaking him slightly. Cancel the party. Take Sophia somewhere safe, far from here. Let your men handle the Riveras. Choose her childhood over your revenge. Dante pulled away, his face a mask of conflict. You don't understand. If I don't end this now, they'll keep coming. Forever. Every birthday, every school day, every moment of her life will be shadowed by this threat. And if you do end it this way, she'll spend her 8th birthday knowing violence happened because of her party. She already thinks she's cursed. You'll confirm it. The words hung between them, sharp and undeniable. Dante walked to the window, staring out at the grounds where his men patrolled like soldiers. When he spoke again, his voice was barely audible. What would you have me do? Be her father first, the Mafia boss second. Those two things can't be separated. Not in my life. They can't be separated, Anna agreed, moving beside him. But they can be prioritized differently. Right now, you're letting the boss make decisions the father will regret. Dante was silent for a long moment. Then, she wants a small party. Just you, me, maybe Maria. She told me this morning, no guards in the room, no cameras. Just family. His voice cracked on the last word. She called you family. Anna's throat tightened. Dante. I'm calling it off. The trap, the confrontation. He turned to face her, decision crystallizing in his eyes. We'll have Sophia's party somewhere else. A safe house in Malibu, off any official records. Small and private, like she wants. And the Riveras? I'll handle them a different way. Quietly. Permanently. But not on my daughter's birthday. He reached out, tucking a strand of hair behind Anna's ear, an intimately gentle gesture that stole her breath. You're right. Some things are more important than revenge. Before Anna could respond, her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. The waitress thinks she can save them.
How sweet.
You'll watch them both die at the party. See you soon. Anna's hands shook as she showed Dante the message. His expression went deadly calm, the most dangerous kind of calm. They know you're here. They've been watching. How is that possible? Your security. Rico wasn't working alone. Dante's voice was pure ice. There's another traitor in this house. And suddenly, the fragile safety Anna had begun to feel evaporated like morning mist. They weren't just being hunted. They were being hunted from within. The next 3 days were suffocating. Dante trusted no one except Luca and Marco. Everyone else was suspect. Guards were rotated constantly, phones confiscated, movements monitored. The mansion transformed from a fortress into a prison where even the walls had eyes. Anna barely left Sophia's side. The little girl sensed the tension, retreating into silence again, her brief emergence back into the world stalled by fresh fear. Tuesday evening, Sophia's birthday arrived despite everything. I don't want to party anymore, Sophia whispered as Anna helped her into a simple blue dress. They were in the Malibu safe house, a modest beachfront property with minimal staff and maximum security. Can we just go home? This is nice though, isn't it? You can hear the ocean. Anna forced brightness into her voice, though her own nerves were frayed. That text message haunted her. Someone knew their plans. Someone was still feeding information. The ocean reminds me of Mama. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. Everything reminds me of Mama. And now, everything reminds me of bad men with guns. Anna pulled her close, her own eyes stinging. I know, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. Why do they want to hurt us? The question had no good answer. Because power corrupts? Because violence breeds violence? Because Dante's world was built on blood, and someone always wanted to spill more. Because some people make very bad choices, Anna said finally. But your papa is making good choices now. He's trying to protect you. By hiding. By choosing you over everything else. That's not hiding. That's love. A knock on the door. Dante entered, wearing dark slacks and a white shirt, casual for him, almost normal. His eyes softened seeing Sophia in her dress. Beautiful, Principessa. He held out a small wrapped box. From your mama. She bought it before. I've been saving it for today. Sophia's hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a delicate silver bracelet with a small charm, a paintbrush. Isabella must have known her daughter would love art. Mama knew me, Sophia whispered. She knew you'd be exactly this wonderful. Dante fastened the bracelet around her wrist, and for a moment, they were just father and daughter, connected by love and loss. Downstairs, Maria had prepared a small cake, chocolate with raspberry filling, Sophia's favorite. Luca and Marco stood guard outside, while inside it was just the four of them. Almost normal. Almost a real family. They sang happy birthday, Sophia's smile tentative but genuine. She blew out 8 candles and made a wish, silent, private, hopeful. Then the lights went out. Emergency backup should have kicked in immediately. It didn't. Down. Dante's command was instant. He grabbed Sophia, pulling her behind the kitchen island. Anna dropped beside them as Luca and Marco burst through the door, weapons drawn. Perimeter breach, Marco hissed. Multiple contacts. They cut the power. Glass shattered. The sliding door to the beach exploded inward. Dark figures poured through, too many, too fast. Gunfire erupted, deafening in the confined space. Dante returned fire, his body shielding Sophia. Anna covered them both, making herself small. She felt rather than saw Marco go down, his cry of pain swallowed by chaos. Second floor. Dante shouted to Luca. Get them out. Luca grabbed Anna's arm, pulling her toward the stairs. She clutched Sophia, who had gone completely rigid, eyes wide and unseeing, shock shutting her down completely. They crashed up the stairs. Behind them, Dante's gunfire continued, controlled, precise. Buying them time. But how much? Luca kicked open a bedroom door, scanning for threats. Window, fire escape. A figure stepped from the shadows. Maria, holding a gun pointed directly at Anna. I'm sorry, the older woman said, her voice cracking. They have my grandson. They'll kill him if I don't. Maria, no. Anna positioned herself between the gun and Sophia. Just give me the girl. You can go. They only want her. You know I can't do that. Maria's hands shook, tears streaming down her weathered face.
Please.
He's 6 years old. My daughter's only child. They'll kill him. And they'll kill Sophia, Anna said softly. You know they will. She's seen too much, knows too much. They can't let her live. They promised. They're lying. Luca had his weapon trained on Maria now. Maria, put it down. We can save your grandson. But not like this. Footsteps thundered up the stairs, enemies or allies, impossible to tell. Maria's finger tightened on the trigger, her face a mask of anguish and desperation. Then Sophia spoke, barely a whisper, but cutting through the chaos. Don't hurt Anna. Please. Maria's face crumpled. The gun wavered. I'm sorry, baby girl. I'm so sorry. The bedroom window shattered. Anna reacted on pure instinct, throwing herself over Sophia as something whistled past. She felt impact, not glass, something else. Heat bloomed in her shoulder, spreading like fire. She'd been shot. The world tilted. Sounds became muffled, distant. She was dimly aware of Luca returning fire, of Maria screaming, of footsteps and shouting. But all that mattered was the small body beneath her, protected, safe. Anna? Sophia's voice, terrified. Anna, wake up. She wanted to respond, to reassure the little girl, but darkness was pulling her down like an undertow. Strong hands lifted her, Dante's voice, raw with something that might have been fear. Stay with me. Anna, stay with me. She tried.
God, she tried.
But the darkness won. The last thing she heard was Sophia crying, Don't leave me. Please don't leave me too. And Dante's voice breaking. I've got you. Both of you. I've got you. Then nothing. Anna woke to sterile white walls and the steady beep of monitors. Hospital. Her shoulder screamed with pain. How long had she been unconscious? She turned her head slowly. Dante sat in a chair beside her bed, still in his blood-stained clothes, holding her hand. His eyes were closed, but his grip was firm, anchoring her to the living world. And for the first time since Isabella died, tears tracked down his face. The hospital room was too quiet except for the mechanical breathing of monitors and Dante's ragged exhales. Anna's throat felt like sandpaper. She tried to speak, but only a croak emerged. Dante's eyes snapped open. For a heartbeat, he stared at her like she was a ghost. Then his hand tightened around hers, his thumb brushing her knuckles with unexpected tenderness. "Don't try to talk," he said, his voice hoarse. "You've been out for 16 hours. The bullet went through your shoulder, clean exit, no major damage, but you lost a lot of blood." Anna swallowed, managing a whisper. "Sophia?" "Safe. Unharmed. Asking for you every hour." Something flickered in his expression. Guilt, gratitude, something deeper. "You took a bullet meant for her. The sniper was aiming for her head. You shifted at the last second and his voice broke." He looked away, jaw clenched. "You almost died protecting my daughter. Is she okay? Emotionally?" Dante's laugh was bitter. "She watched another person she loves get shot. No, she's not okay. But she's alive because of you." He stood abruptly, pacing to the window. Dawn light painted Los Angeles in shades of gold and pink, beautiful and oblivious to the violence it contained. "Maria's grandson is safe. We extracted him from the Rivera compound 2 hours after the attack. Maria's under guard. She'll face consequences, but not death. She was trying to save family. I understand that now. The Riveras? Destroyed." His voice turned cold. "Every warehouse, every business, every safe house, burned to the ground. I gave them one chance to surrender Sophia's would-be killers. They refused. So I took everything." He turned back, and Anna saw the monster he'd been, efficient, merciless, complete. There are no more Riveras in Los Angeles. They're extinct. Anna should have been horrified. Instead, she felt only exhaustion and a grim satisfaction that the threat was gone. "How many?" "Don't ask questions you don't want answered." They sat in heavy silence. Finally, Anna asked, "Can I see her?" "Sophia?" "The doctors want you to rest another day."
Dante.
"Please." He studied her face, then nodded. "I'll bring her, but only for a few minutes." He left, and Anna closed her eyes, processing everything. She'd crossed a line she couldn't uncross. She'd killed no one herself, but she'd become complicit in Dante's world. She'd chosen a side. And somehow, she didn't regret it. 10 minutes later, the door opened softly. Sophia peered around the frame, her dark eyes huge and uncertain. She wore Anna's favorite yellow sweater, something to feel close, Anna realized with a pang.
Sword, Anna Manaja, Atamti Nashmila.
Sophia rushed to the bedside, stopping just short of touching her. "Does it hurt?" "A little, but I'm okay." "You're not okay. You got shot because of me." Sophia's voice was small, broken. "Everyone gets hurt because of me." "No." Anna reached out with her good arm, taking Sophia's hand. "I got hurt because bad people made bad choices. Not because of you. Never because of you. But if I wasn't there, if you weren't there, my life would be so much emptier. Sophia, you've given me something I didn't know I was missing. Purpose. Connection. Love." Anna squeezed her hand gently. "You're not a curse. You're a gift." Tears streamed down Sophia's face. "I thought you were dead. I thought everyone I love dies. I'm right here. And I'm not going anywhere. Promise." Anna glanced at Dante, who stood in the doorway watching them with an expression she couldn't quite read. "I promise." Sophia climbed carefully onto the bed, curling against Anna's uninjured side. Within minutes, exhausted by days of fear, she fell asleep. Anna stroked her hair, feeling the little girl's breathing slow and steady. Dante approached, looking down at them. She hasn't slept since the attack. Nightmares every time she closed her eyes. She feels safe now. With you. Not with me, pain laced his words. My own daughter doesn't feel safe with me. That's not true. She needs different things from each of us. You're her protector, her warrior. I'm her. Anna struggled for words. Her mother figure. Dante finished quietly. I see how she looks at you. How she trusts you. It's how she used to look at Isabella. I'm not trying to replace. I know. But maybe. He sat in the chair, elbows on knees, hands clasped. Maybe that's what she needs. What we both need. Someone who reminds us that life is more than survival and revenge. Anna watched him carefully. What are you saying? I'm saying I've spent 2 years teaching Sophia that the world is dangerous, that trust gets you killed, that love is a weakness to be exploited. And then you walked into our lives and proved every lesson wrong. He looked up, vulnerability naked in his eyes. You've changed everything, Anna. You've changed her. You've changed me. Dante. I'm leaving the business. Not tomorrow. These things take time planning. But I'm getting out. The words seemed to cost him. I called a meeting this morning with my remaining lieutenants. Told them I'm transitioning to legitimate operations over the next year. Selling off the illegal enterprises. Investing in legal businesses. Some of them will follow, some won't. But it's happening. Anna's breath caught. Why? Because last night, watching you bleed on my daughter's birthday, I realized Isabella was right. This life destroys everything good it touches. And I refuse to let it destroy Sophia. Or you. He reached out, carefully taking Anna's free hand. I don't know what happens next. I don't know if you'll stay after this, after everything you've seen. But I'm done choosing power over people who matter. Your men will think you're weak. Let them. My daughter thinks I'm scary. That's the only opinion that matters anymore. His thumb traced circles on her palm. Well, that and yours. Mean? Do you think I'm irredeemable, Anna? Too stained by violence to ever be anything else. She studied him, this complicated, damaged man who'd ordered executions and burned empires, but who also read bedtime stories and cried when people he loved got hurt. Monster and man, inextricably tangled. I think, she said slowly, that redemption isn't about erasing the past. It's about choosing differently in the future. And you're choosing Sophia. That's a start. Is it enough? For her?
Yes.
For you? Anna paused, weighing her words carefully. That depends on whether you can forgive yourself. That's the hardest part. Dante was quiet for a long moment, his gaze distant. Then, Isabella used to say that too. That I was hardest on myself, a ghost of a smile. You really do sound like her sometimes. Is that okay? It's more than okay. He struggled, and used to articulating emotions. It's like having a piece of her back. The piece that believed I could be better. Sophia stirred in her sleep, murmuring something inaudible. Both adults froze, but she settled again, her small hand clutching Anna's hospital gown. She asked me this morning if you were going to be her new mama, Dante said quietly. I told her that wasn't a decision I could make. That you had your own life, your own family to care for. Anna's chest tightened. What did she say? She said maybe you could have 2 families. The one you were born into and the one you choose. His eyes met hers, dark and searching. Is that possible, Anna? Can you choose us? Not out of obligation or because Sophia's attached, but because you want this broken, complicated, dangerous as it is. The question hung between them, weighted with futures and possibilities. Anna thought of her mother, stable now but still needing care. Thought of her old life, paycheck to paycheck, lonely, safe but hollow. Then she looked at Sophia sleeping peacefully for the first time in days, and at Dante whose walls were finally, slowly crumbling. I need time, she said honestly. This is all so fast, so intense. I need to process everything, talk to my mother, figure out what this would actually look like. Disappointment flickered across Dante's face, but he nodded. Of course. Take all the time you need. But know this. Whatever you decide, Sophia's birthday trust fund is yours. Your mother's medical bills are covered. You've earned that and more. I didn't do this for money. I know. That's exactly why you deserve it. A nurse entered, checking Anna's vitals and suggesting Sophia be moved so Anna could rest properly. But when they tried to lift the sleeping girl, she whimpered and clung tighter. Let her stay, Anna said. Just a little longer. The nurse frowned but relented. After she left, Dante settled back into his chair, clearly intending to keep watch. You should sleep too, Anna told him. You look exhausted. I haven't slept since you were shot. Every time I close my eyes, I see. He stopped, shaking his head.
I am staying.
So they sat in the quiet dawn, this strange almost family, bound by bullets and choices and something that might, given time and healing, become love. 6 months later. The restaurant on the Santa Monica Pier gleamed with fresh paint and new windows, merinos, rebuilt from the ashes of that violent night. Anna stood outside, breathing in salt air and garlic butter, her hand resting on Sophia's shoulder. It looks different, Sophia observed. She'd grown taller, her voice stronger, her steps more confident. Therapy with Dr. Kim, now conducted at the safe office with proper security, was slowly healing wounds that bullets couldn't inflict. But the same too. That's called resilience, Anna said. When something broken becomes beautiful again. Like us. Anna smiled. Exactly like us. They'd taken it slow. Painfully, deliberately slow. Anna had moved into a guest house on Dante's property, maintaining some independence while staying close. She'd enrolled in online nursing courses, finishing her degree. Her mother had been moved to a better facility, her treatment fully covered, visiting on weekends when health permitted. And slowly, carefully, Anna had allowed herself to become part of something she'd stopped believing in, a family. Papa's late, Sophia said, checking the smartwatch that had replaced the ankle monitor she didn't know she'd once worn. He said 6 o'clock. Business runs long sometimes. The legal kind takes more meetings than the illegal kind. Apparently, Anna checked her own phone. A text from Dante. Traffic. 10 minutes. Order without me. They entered the restaurant to applause. Marco, promoted to manager after proving his loyalty, greeted them with a broad smile. Our heroes return. Your table's ready. The same corner booth. The corner booth where everything had started. Where Sophia had sat alone and terrified. Where Anna had made a split-second decision that changed 3 lives forever. They slid into the booth, Sophia on the inside. Old habits died hard. The restaurant buzzed with Friday evening energy, families and couples, laughter and clinking glasses. Normal. Beautifully, wonderfully normal. Can I get the lobster ravioli? Sophia asked, studying the menu seriously. You can get whatever you want, sweetheart. Even dessert first. Don't push your luck. Sophia giggled, a sound that still made Anna's heart soar. 6 months ago, that laugh had been rare as diamonds. Now it came freely, often like Sophia was making up for lost time. The restaurant door opened, and Dante walked in. He'd changed too. Still commanded every room he entered, but the hardness had softened. He wore jeans and a navy sweater, no bodyguards shadowing his steps. Just a father meeting his family for dinner. Their family. He spotted them and smiled, genuine, unguarded. Something he'd been practicing, Anna teased him. Learning to be human again.
Papa.
Sophia waved enthusiastically. Dante slid into the booth beside Anna, his hand finding hers under the table.
Saw the
real estate deal took longer than expected. Apparently, legitimate businessmen actually read contracts thoroughly. Revolutionary concept. How's the transition going? Anna asked. Slowly. But it's happening. We closed 3 more legal acquisitions this week. Restaurants, a small hotel chain, a logistics company. All clean, he squeezed her hand. Luca thinks I've lost my mind. Marco says I'm inspiring. The jury's still out. I think you're brave, Sophia said matter-of-factly. Mrs. Chun says brave people do hard things even when they're scared.
Dr. Kim, honey.
Mrs. Chun is someone else.
Right.
Dr. Kim, Sophia took a breadstick, breaking it methodically into exactly 4 pieces, a small ritual that helped her anxiety. She also says I'm doing really well, that my progress is remarkable. She pronounced the word carefully, proud of it. You are remarkable, Dante said, his voice thick with emotion he no longer tried to hide. Every single day. They ordered dinner, conversation flowing easily. Sophia talked about her art class. She'd started at a small private school with extensive security that didn't look like security. She had friends now. 2 girls she painted with on Thursdays. Normal childhood things that had seemed impossible 6 months ago. During dinner, Anna watched Dante with Sophia, patient when she struggled with her food, interested in her stories, present in a way he hadn't been before. The cold king had thawed, revealing the father who'd been buried beneath grief and rage. After dinner, Marco brought out a special dessert, tiramisu with a single candle. What's this for? Anna asked. Your 6-month anniversary, Marco said, grinning. 6 months since the night that changed everything. We figured it deserved celebrating. Sophia clapped. Make a wish, Anna. Anna looked at the 2 faces watching her, Sophia's bright with hope, Dante's soft with something deeper. She thought about wishes she'd made over the years. Wishes for her mother's health, for financial stability, for purpose and meaning in a life that had felt small and constrained. She'd gotten all of that and more. She'd gotten a little girl who called her Anna Mama when she forgot to be careful. A man who looked at her like she'd saved his soul, not just his daughter. A second chance at the family she'd thought she'd never have. She blew out the candle. What did you wish for? Sophia asked. Can't tell, or it won't come true. That's a silly rule. Maybe. But some rules are worth following. After dessert, they walked on the pier, Sophia running ahead to watch street performers. Dante pulled Anna close, his arm around her waist. I have something for you, he said quietly, pulling a small box from his pocket. Anna's heart stuttered. Dante. It's not what you think. Not yet anyway. We agreed to take things slow, and I'm keeping that promise. He opened the box, revealing a simple silver ring with 2 small stones, one purple, one green. Sophia's birthstone and yours. She helped me pick it out. Anna's throat tightened. It's beautiful. It's a promise. That your family, that we're yours and you're ours, regardless of what comes next. He took her hand, his thumb brushing the healing scar on her palm from that night at the safe house. Isabella's initials are engraved inside too. Sophia insisted. She said her mama would want you to know you have her blessing. Tears spilled down Anna's cheeks. Dante slipped the ring onto her right hand. Not a proposal, but something equally significant. A covenant. Thank you, Anna whispered. For letting me in. For changing. For choosing us over everything else. You saved my daughter's life twice. You saved mine more times than I can count. He pressed his forehead to hers. Thank you for not running. For staying when anyone sane would have left. For reminding me what it means to be human. Sophia ran back, breathless and grinning. There's a lady painting faces. Can I get a butterfly? Absolutely, Anna and Dante said in unison. They walked to the face-painting station, Sophia chattering excitedly. Above them, the evening sky painted itself in purples and oranges. Behind them, the rebuilt restaurant glowed with warm light. Ahead, the future stretched uncertain but full of possibility. Anna looked at the ring on her finger, at the little girl getting a butterfly painted on her cheek, at the man who'd once been Los Angeles's most feared criminal and was now just a father learning to smile again. This wasn't the life she'd imagined for herself. It was messy and complicated, still shadowed by past violence, still healing from fresh wounds. But it was real. It was love. It was family. Not the family she was born into, but the one she'd chosen. The one that chose her back. As they left the pier, Sophia grabbed both their hands, swinging between them. Anna Mama, she said, then caught herself. I mean Anna.
saw the...
It's okay, Anna said, her heart full. You can call me whatever feels right. Sophia beamed. Then, Anna Mama. Because that's what you are. Dante's hand tightened around Anna's. In his eyes, she saw gratitude, love, and something like peace, hard-won and precious. They walked into the evening, three people who'd found each other in violence and chose to build something beautiful from the rubble. A mafia boss learning to be just a father. A traumatized girl learning to trust again. A waitress who became a protector, a healer, a mother. Not a perfect family, but a real one. And that, Anna thought, was more than enough.
The end.